Yo, bro, I'm low-key faded, bro.
Highway.
What's this guy supposed to be, the ultimate badass?
They ain't ready. They ain't ready, Joe. They ain't ready. Here we go. I'm gonna go Onward out here, guys. What is it? You ain't Mexican. What is that? Kind of looks it a little bit though, so I dig a little deep in there, right? But yeah, we got that. You did that.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Frisco Report. Cowboys blog in the house right here, the greatest host of them all. What's up, Balak?
Hey, what's up, bro? Today is going to be the day of days. All right, we're talking about the Cowboys. And just like the title says, Mike, is this already a must-win for the Cowboys, Mike?
You know, when the NFL does this on purpose, right? You go in there to open up against the Super Bowl champions, the Eagles, and then next thing you know, you got another divisional game, Joe. Bam, back to back. And then not only do you lose that opening game, the Giants lose the opening game. So now you're fighting for that 1-1 spot, which is crucial. In today's NFL. Yeah, the Cowboys did it in 1992, right? But it's rare. It's super rare. And you don't want to start that. You don't want to have that in your division. You don't want to have that on your record. You don't want to have that for anything, period, Joe. It is a must-win game.
Yeah, the division, that's your path to the playoffs, right? Some people might be like, hey, we have no chance. Maybe some people feel encouraged, you know, from what they saw in that Eagles game. I know for myself, Mike, I do feel encouraged, you know what I mean? But I still do have a lot of questions, you know, as far as like, you know, the offense. The defense is a huge question mark, you know what I mean? So we'll see, man. It's a new opponent. It is a familiar opponent. You know, Daboll's been here in the division here for a couple of years now. So Schottenheimer familiar with it as well. And, you know, he's gonna give his shot at hopefully sweeping these guys, bro. Like, I don't think the Giants are that good. You know, I saw what they did against the Washington Redskins, and they got their butt whooped, bro. What did you think about how did they look to you, bro?
Yeah, they had no rushing game, Joe. No running attack. You know, Russell Wilson led them in yards with 44. Malik Neighbors only had, Malik Neighbors did pretty good at 12 targets, 71 yards. I don't know if that's pretty good, but that's okay to open up the season. Robinson, the other wide receiver, had 8 for 55. So they definitely spread the ball around. And Danny Savage in the house talking about don't sleep on their defense. They did get 3 sacks total. Burns, their linebacker Burns, got 2 sacks. A. Carter got a half a sack. And Thibodeau also got a half a sack, Joe. So they came out with 3 sacks against the Commanders. You know, who I think the Commanders are light in the trenches anyway. But you definitely you want your line to really excel in that. But for the most part, their offense, Joe, you know, you want to really have your defense really step up and limit Russell Wilson to those scramble yards.
Yeah, man, and it's also going to be another test as far as the culture goes, right, Mike? So you're hearing Schottenheimer talk about, you know, consistency. That's how you're going to get on the field. So talking about like our young rookies, Shamar James, you know, Jaron Blue. All right, is this guy going to get on, Mike? What is your gut instinct as far as like? Are we going to see a different running game, or do you think it'll be the same this week? Do you think they'll roll with these guys one more week and then take a look at Jay? Do you think they're going to say, "Oh, you did good We won't know, huh? Until the inactives come out on Jadon. But what's your gut feeling?
Yeah, the gut feeling is Jerry already spoiled it. All right. Mazi Smith and Jadon Blue will be inactive. And, that's coming from the general manager on his radio show today on 105.3 The Fan. And no Mazi, no Jadon Blue to start week 2. So
that's news to me on the Jaden front. That's not good, bro. There was rumors, and I think we remember this during training camp that he had questions as far as like his what was it? Well, did somebody call him lazy, or he didn't like working out, or what was it, man? It was something along
this
those lines.
Offseason, right? Before training camp, there was an article produced that the Dallas Cowboys do not like his work ethic, Joe. Mm-hmm. That his work ethic is not good.
I need to go back and follow up. I want to see. It'd be interesting to see what did Dane Brugler have in the Beast. I wonder if there was any mention of that in there. I don't remember reading anything in there, but I'm interested to go back and check that out and see if there is mention of some kind of work ethic. I mean, if he was so good, you know what I mean, why all the way until we drafted him deep on day 3, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people want to compare him to Pollard. I just don't think it's the same player. I think Pollard is a more complete player, more grown up, I guess you could say, like takes care of himself and was a contributor right out the gate. There was no Tony Pollard deactivated in this kind of crap. He was there, man, with Zeke, you know what I mean? So I'm wondering about it, bro. But I'm also wondering about Miles Sanders. Where's his head at in this game? You know what I mean? Is he gonna turn it around and have an awesome game, or is he gonna be a guy that we can't count on?
So Brian Schottenheimer likes consistency, and if you don't give consistency to the day in and day out agendas that Schottenheimer's laid out, you're not going to play. Some could make the argument, well, what about Miles Sanders? What has he done to earn that starting role? And it makes perfect sense. After he fumbles, you got to go with next man up mentality. But I'm curious, Joe, if Phil Maffa did not hurt his shoulder, would Miles Sanders even be on this team? So what does that tell you about Jadon Blue? And so when you look at all this, is Schottenheimer full of dookie, or is he serious about competing every day? Because you can't put the ball on the ground that ultimate cost you the game with CeeDee Lamb's drops, right? So I don't know if it's consistency or if it boils down to that early article before training camp of work ethic, Joe.
I think it is work ethic. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down at the end of the day. Mazi Smith, I don't want to give a spoiler away, but we did do our crystal ball video, which we will play at the end of the. And I did make a prediction, and Mike, and tracking a certain way for a certain player, Mike, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. It's not good, bro. When a former first round pick, bro, not activated, that's easy, man. Like, that's like, even Taco was playing, dude. Like this, could Mazi Smith end up being the biggest bust this century?
100%, Joe. I mean, you look at it, Taco Charlton had a draft, had opportunities, and Taco Charlton had a trade compensation package. Right now, Mazi Smith doesn't have playing time, and he doesn't have a trade compensation package. So ultimately what's going to have to happen is the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to release Mazi Smith in order for any of this to make sense, because no team is going to pick up that type of salary when you can just sign him for a vet minimum on a practice squad somewhere. So I'd rather just cut him and get a fresh body in here. Or, Joe, what the Cowboys can also do is do a trade for trade. We've seen it with Kelvin Joseph and Noah Igbenogany. We've seen it with Nashawn Wright and Andrew Booth Jr. Mm-hmm. Why not let's see it with Mazi Smith and another potential lineman, right? Give me your trash. You take my trash. we'll see if they can catch a break and catch that lightning in a bottle.
And that's spot on, man. That's what they should do. Bust for bust, because there's a bust on every corner, right? We're not the only one that has a big bust. So I'm with you, bro. And we know what Will McClay loves doing, the reclamation project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does. Will McClay does like to.
Maybe you can hit, on a bust for bust trade. So
yeah.
The internet strikes again, bro. Undefeated, man. AT&T.
Hey, I'm just trying to slide in there. But anyway. But yeah,
hey,
dude.
Bro, this is a good one. Mazi Smith or Bobby Carpenter? I still say Mazi, bro.
Yeah, Bobby Carpenter, Mazi, he resurrected his career, and it stung the Cowboys, again, that Lions game. I think he had a pick 6 on Tony Romo. Mazi would never.
Yeah.
Bobby Carpenter kind of resurrected his career with the Lions. Sometimes new scenery does work. I mean, look at Noah Ibignogany. Didn't work out with Miami. He came to the Cowboys. His very first game, he picks up a blocked field goal and runs it to the house. He gets cut. He goes back to Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn kind of resurrects his career. He was a really good corner, and I think there were some teams looking to trade for him for Noah Ibignogany. So sometimes a new scenery is just what's best. And so far, the Cowboys are like 0-50, but maybe they can get that one day.
Mm-hmm. Let's get into the conversation as far as like Terrence and Guyton. I think these two tackles, didn't have the best game. You know what I mean? And people will throw stats, will throw PFF numbers, but if you saw the game, you saw the pressure. Dak felt the pressure. So, you know what I mean? As far as like this game here, I think Guyton versus Thibodeau, Mike. What do you think? How do you think that's going to look?
I went back and I watched a little bit of the game, Joe. And there were some plays where I was really eyeing Tyler Guyton. And I'm not talking about the whole get the hell out of here punch to the face mask. But
exactly.
But I'm not talking about that play, but he struggled. But then I stepped back, Joe, and I'm not making an excuse for the kid, but I stepped back and I said, well, he missed like 4 weeks of practice in this training camp. And he allowed no pressures. He allowed 0 sacks, even with all that time missed. So I'm gonna say, Joe, I'm gonna go on a bold prediction. I'm gonna say we have a better version of Tyler Guyton now that he has some reps under his belt, Joe. Now, Terrence Steele in the running game, I thought he was fantastic in the running game. But his passing, holy moly, donut shop. You ever seen that scene on Friday with all the flies and the donuts? He was like, give me one of them pretzels or give me one of them donut twists and hold the flies. He looks like a donut twist in the running game, but he has all them flies on the donuts in the passing game. Terrence Steele cannot block for nothing in pass block.
You really just got to go with what you're seeing on game day, because you have all these guys, that are notorious for doing film breakdowns, all 22 breakdowns, and it's all objective. It's the eye. What does that person see? What are they trying to paint a narrative? Do they see something totally? Do they not know what they're talking about? So like. You can say, oh, he swatted this dude and did this and that, but this is one thing I cannot stand about these guys that do the film study. They don't show the bad plays. Draft season is the same way. Show me the bad play. I want all of it. Don't show me the highlights. Don't show me this sorts of things. I want to see it all. You know what I mean? Don't hide crap from me. And people do these in these reviews of the O-line, they were badass, dude. Like Dak was under pressure, man. I don't even know what nobody knows how the league calculates pressures or quarterback hurries, right? So to me, from what I saw, He was definitely being hurried and under pressure from BB Guyton, and still like you said was terrible. But I even saw a highlight of Steele making a play, and I was like, okay, somebody might just show that and be like, oh, Steele, he's back, but he's not. You know what I mean? So you got to be very careful with these film reviews and bullshit like this, because I want to make this guy look really good. You know what I mean? And hype him up. You know. Now I can believe it with Tyler Smith, but show me the bad play too, because Tyler Smith whiffed a block too. Me that, but you show falling people, but show me the bad plays too. You know what I mean? And nobody does that. You know, it's all highlight reels.
Yeah, no, and you make a good point, Joe. And another thing to add on to Tyler Guyton, one thing he struggled with last year was what? Pre-snap penalties, false starts, Joe. He had zero. So he had a lot of zeros in a lot of important categories. So I'm gonna say I understand where you're coming from, Joe, but I'm also on the side of let me see him one more week. But Terrence Steele, on the other hand, he needs help in the pass blocking. Keep a tight end over there all day long. Cooper Beebe, I get it. You didn't play no preseason either. Maybe that was rust. But I'm going to give them guys one more week before I can really, really put my fork in them and say I'm done.
I really don't understand them not participating in the preseason. I was really, I had YouTube on last night, and the Tony Romo story came. And, there was a part here where we talked about Romo played the whole game versus Seattle in the preseason. And I was like, that's how you evaluate people and get the rust off. You know what I mean? Like, you got to see what you have, man. And that served Romo well. You know, he played the whole game. You know, we did that with Joe Milton, not with the same results, obviously, but at least you're getting game action. And I think that game one, you did see some of that, rear its head as far as like missed tackles, especially on defense, Mike. And why is Maris Leofow not starting, bro? Like, what the hell is going on with that, dude? You know, he should see more playing time against the Giants, Mike. You know,
I'm going to do the super chat. I'm going to touch on something real quick because I feel like this is deja vu. All right, Mike Bellarana, appreciate the super chat, $1.99. He says, I really hope we don't sign Tolbert. And I really hope you're right, Mike. I really hope you're right. Roster garbage, get him out of here, all right? When's trash day? Put him out on the curb. Thank you, Mike, for that. Joe, I got to go back and watch the videos, but this is deja vu to me. I feel like we've had this Maris Leofow begging for him to get reps last year under Mike Zimmer. Now it's happening under Matt Eberflus. Why can't this guy get consistent playing time, Joe? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of saying, where's Maris Leofow? Where's the Notre Dame Fighting Irish?
Yeah, I don't know. And here we go. Favoritism, right? I mean, we got the Sanborn identity, who I thought didn't even have a really good game himself. I was expecting something better, bro. So I was like, and then Damone Clark, he ain't it, bro. He just did enough to make the roster. You know what I mean? He's one of these players that let me do my full potential and take my foot off the pedal. He's that kind of guy. Get him out of here, dude. We don't need that fake effort. That's fake effort, bro. Like, dude, if you can play like that every single game, dude, you would get paid, bro. You would have a huge career. But no, you want to do just enough to make the roster and then take your foot off the pedal and play like crap. Damone Clark is crap, dude. I take back what he did in the preseason. It was fake effort.
Yeah, I need Matt Eberflus. Kenneth Murray Jr. is who I really thought would be a playmaker, and he struggled to cover tight ends against those Eagles. So how does Matt Eberflus get his linebackers back on track? All right. That's what I want to see. Now, holding Saquon to 7 yards, big shout out to Kenny Clark, excuse me. Big shout out to him. Oso Digizua and the Kenny Clark combo. I want that as a buffet. Keep them coming. All right. But I need our linebackers to be better. I need our linebackers to be way better, Joe.
They need to be better, and they need to play at a high level because outside of Kenny Clark, it's no man's land, bro. So, Osa had some moments, but Kenny Clark was the dude. He was the man there. When he was in there, they said it was like 10 per carry. When he wasn't in there, it was like
6.6.
Yeah, 6.6. That is huge numbers, man. So I wish we had him in a little bit of a younger age, but we have him here. So you do have to give him his reps. As far as like he's not going to be an every down defensive tackle for you, Mike.
Joe, I'm gonna ask you this question, Joe. Speaking of rushing, because Jalen Hurts had some running on us. What one player did we miss the most on defense that was there last year that's not here this year? I'll give you a hint. He wears number 0. DeMarvion Overshown, all right? If he was here on this team, Jalen Hurts would not have done what he did in that damn game. And so, because everybody be like, oh, you're crazy, it's Micah. It ain't Micah. Show me when Micah spied on a guy. Overshown keeps Hurts in check, and he's done it for when he's been healthy. Overshown kept Deshaun Watson in check week 1 last year, Joe. That's the player, that's the linebacker that we're missing right now. I think when Overshown, if he can come back and be healthy, he will be a star in this defense.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's probably looking at the end of the season. You know what I mean? But he's definitely that heat-seeking missile. You know what I mean? He has that football speed that you want. Not speed in shorts, but speed with the pads on. There's a difference. And to me, this guy's a missile, man. This is the kind of guy you want. He's just a little light on the body armor, and we've seen him take on some significant damage. So is any of that going to rob him of his agility, mobility, athleticism? Probably. You know what I mean? It just happens. But you're right, man. He's that guy. And to Eberflus, he there will have that in the game plan of not putting the spy on Jalen Hurts. Leo found been the perfect spy or Donovan Wilson. Either one of those. You know what I mean? Somebody that has some speed, closing speed, and this type of player. But they I guess they were too afraid of the run, dude. And they had all hands on deck on trying to stop the run, and they didn't have anybody paying attention to the Super Bowl MVP, right? Wasn't he the MVP, or was it Saquon?
He was the MVP, I think.
So dumb defense there, and it's just another reason why Eberflus failed as a head coach. Just bad game planning, bro. So that's one thing that does worry me as a defensive coordinator. We know what he did here as a linebacker coach, defensive. But now in the big leagues, bro, like you can't have these kind of dumb game plans. And that was straight dumb, bro. So like, here with the Giants, what would be the focus? Should be the main focus of the deep opinion, Mike.
Yeah, I think you got to get Malik Neighbors covered. I think you need to spy Russell Wilson somehow. I know Dable, and don't be surprised if the Giants throw us a curveball and Jackson Dart is the starter. I think the Cowboys need to prepare for both quarterbacks. It was rumored, Joe, that Dayball went to ownership and was begging for Dart to start against the Cowboys. And he came out like 30 minutes later in a press conference and said Russell Wilson starting. Did he get his way in that meeting or not? And is he swaying the media either way? I think we got to prepare for Jackson Dart just in case they try to throw a fastball on us. But I'm looking at Malik Neighbors, Joe. I'm looking at Robinson, their second string wide receiver. The running backs don't scare me, but we have to contain the quarterback. And Deron Bland, Trayvon Diggs, mirror that game that you did against A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
Yeah, I think they have a pretty good wide receiver core. You mentioned Wan'Dale Robinson. I think he flashes. He kind of reminds. I think that's their version of Cavante Turpin. This is a guy who can put you in the blender. You know what I mean? But I take Turpin over him. But he's that kind of player, man. If you don't tackle good, which the Cowboys have had issues here recently, he could tear you up, bro. So Cowboys are gonna have to be on their. They're gonna have to put the screws on to these guys, man. Or it's gonna be a long day, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. You have to. Just be all hands on deck. If your philosophy is going to be no house guest, show me no house guest. If you ain't going to spy a quarter, see, here's the problem with the whole spying thing, Joe. Rod Marinelli, and you guys might remember this. Rod Marinelli had everything covered. You notice when Jalen Hurts was running, everything was covered. Running game was we held Scheifele to like 60 yards, which is phenomenal. But they don't account for the quarterback. Rod Marinelli really never accounted for the quarterback. Guess who Eberflus learned under? Rod Marinelli. Mm-hmm. So those same principles, Joe, are going to stay with the same defense. Yeah. You have to get that shit out of your brain. Sorry for cussing. You have to get that out of your brain, and you have to play football. Man up. Everybody, 11 on 11, man up, and then stop the guys.
That's what it is, bro. You hit it on the head because it's like people of Marinelli. It seems like I can get rid of this part of the Cowboys' history with Garrett, Marinelli, and there's still both of them here, bro. Like, when can we just have a fresh start? Both, you know what I mean? It's going to happen. I really legitimately wonder if that's ever going to happen, dude. But it's bend, don't break, right? So, yeah, bend, don't break. But at the same time, it shouldn't even be bend, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hate that philosophy of bend, don't break. Like, why do you even have attack? Get the ball, okay? Be a menace. You know what I mean? None of this bending crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty annoying, bro.
Yeah, I need adjustments earlier. Like, I give a props for holding Saquon to 1 yard and 7 carries in the second half. But you have to make and they made the stops. The offense is what cost us this game in the second half. Even with the distractions, even with the rain delay, with the muscles. I know Savage made a good point about muscles getting stiff and getting unloose, stuff like that. So, I need to see better adjustments sooner, Joe, because you have to be able. There was a game, and I'm going to talk about Dan Quinn here. There was a game where the offense was doing. I don't know. I think it was against the Patriots where they were doing stuff that they didn't even think about. Dan Quinn shredded that game plan and just called everything by ear. Sometimes you just have to do stuff by ear. If you want to be the greatest and the best, you have to call things by ear. And that's just the NFL isn't going to be a perfect thing for you, where you sometimes you just have to go on the fly. And Mazi Smith, I need you to step up just a little bit more.
I like this comment here from 1980. The Goats in the house. Shout out Dallas Cowboys fan 1980. The Goats. All right.
Here we go, guys. Tuesday, 2 down. 3 to go.
I mean, this is what it is, right? George Pickens, there was a lot of A lot of fanfare, a lot of hype, a lot of training camp hype. You know, I've called training camp a glorified hype video. That's all training camp is nowadays. It's really nothing, bro. It really is. So, George Pickens, bro, we saw all these amazing plays in training camp, the connection with Dak and this and that. Like, what did he have? 3 targets, 3 yards. I mean, I forgot what he had. Like not too many yards. You know what I mean?
Right. I think he only had like 1 catch, didn't he?
Yeah. So he's got to do more, man. He's got to be more of a focal point. You know, do a better job getting open. You know, there's been, you know, discussion as far as like his route running and this sorts of things, and there's some truth to that as well. Obviously, you know, he's not an Amari Cooper, he's not a CD Lamb. He's a deep ball kind of guy. You know what I mean? And Dak is not that kind of quarterback. So you got to fit that in somehow. You know what I mean? And I mean, he's got to be the second look. You know what I mean? It's got to be Lamb, and then Pickens, and then, you know, if those 2 guys are not open, you know, your escape hatch Ferguson. I don't want to see any passes to Tolbert. That dude sucks, dude.
Yeah, I think our wide receivers against the Eagles overall is a flunking grade. I get it. You know, we were playing bully ball in the first half. You know, they were playing bully ball. It was 21-20 going into halftime, which is fantastic. But Tolbert not blocking in the running game like he's supposed to. Pickens running a lazy route. CeeDee Lamb dropping the ball. I mean, overall, who's our wide receivers coach? This guy from Oregon. Don't make me have to put you on the hot seat early. Get your guys ready. Get your guys prepared. Get them motivated. You know, if I did the same thing with Mike Solari, I'll do the same thing with you, Mr. Oregon man, Mr. Trayshawn Holden Good. All right? I'll put my foot up in your ass. Tell him, Joe.
That's right, man, and you did. There was a lot of miscues. I saw one clip where somebody mentioned that it looked like Jalen Tolbert ran the wrong route and got in CeeDee Lamb's way. And when you see the play, it did look it. And then, you know, it wasn't Lamb running the wrong route. It was Tolbert's dumbass, and he was all thinking it was coming to him. Like, you know what I mean? When there's 2 receivers are close in the same area, somebody screwed up. That's always been the saying, right? And that was the case on that one particular play. And to me, Tolbert, bonehead, making mistakes out there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, big shout out to Dallas Cowboy fan 1980 for bringing up wide receiver points here. I'm going to do it one more time just for the record. Here we go, guys. Tuesday, 2 down, 3 to go.
Chat box is awesome tonight, guys. We do appreciate it. Hit that like button if you haven't already. It helps the channel out. Danny Savage, Asian Persuasion, Jeb, West Virginia Country Boy, everybody in the house. We do appreciate you guys, man. You keep the questions coming if you have any here for us for this upcoming game. It is. You cannot go 0-2 in the division. And Mike, you can't go 0-2 to start the season. Your chances of reaching the playoffs or Super Bowl go down dramatically. So this game is already the toilet bowl. Also, whoever loses this game, they're at the bottom, bro. So this is an early toilet bowl game. Whoever loses, they're at the bottom of the division, bro.
Yeah. And trust me, I think a lot of Cowboy fans, I don't want to say we took a moral victory, but we viewed it as, well, we ain't as bad as we thought we were, right? But this game, if we so happen to lose this game, the gloves are off for me, Joe.
Yes.
They're off
for sure. For sure.
I'm gonna be the biggest critic. I'm gonna piss I might even piss you off one day. All right, I'm just letting you know.
And there's nothing wrong with critiquing the team, but the soft fans that are out there, the soft contingency, haters. No, you wimp, you pussy. Is being critiquing of the team. We all want to win, but we're not going to be soft about it. You know what I mean? We don't go that route here, Mike. We never have. And a lot of people in our circle are the same. You know, talk about 1980, fifth quarter, Eshawn, these guys, that's why we gel so good together, because we want to win, but we're not. It's been too long, bro. We're almost getting to the 30th anniversary of Super Bowl 30. That's insane in the membrane.
Who would have known? JY? Hey guys, for the Michael trade to be success, one of those picks got to be a top 10 pick. What do you think, Joe? Does one of those picks need to be top 10 in order for Micah to be a success? Whether that's be a Cowboys pick or a Packers pick, bro.
I'm gonna steal one from the goats, Mr. Jimmy Johnson, right here. Okay, it's not where you're drafting, it's what you do with the pick, right? So, yeah, it would be wonderful to have a top 10 pick, right? You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna get a blue chip player, pretty much, but it's what you do with the pick, and that's where it does get kind of scary, because Mike, I'm expecting the Packers to be in the 20s. I do expect them to be in contention. Barring injuries, you know what I mean? They will be in contention. They'll be drafting in the 20s. Cowboys, they're hit and miss, bro, in the 20s. You know what I mean? So it's like a 50-50 ball for the Cowboys in the first round. So I do hope that this I'm not wishing injuries on anybody, but I'm hoping the Packers obviously have a bad season somehow. So hopefully something comes up for them. They hit a rough patch, and then that pick goes down the drain. And so we'll have that opportunity this year and next year. So, but to have two owners, it is good. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun draft season for sure.
Oh, yeah. You get to play around with it, Joe, And I know Danny Savage mentioned this in the chat earlier in the show. You pick, where depending on where you pick our pick, because I have a feeling that the Packers might be better us, in the draft order. So they'll be higher than us. You pick our pick, but you trade that Packers pick up and you inherit more picks. Like, what can that get you? You're going to get you a 2 and a 3, and you got 2 second rounds and a third round for this year or next year, however you want to look at it. Like, you could do so much with that second first round pick, dude.
Yeah. No, it's definitely you can move. You can use that one to even move up your pick, right? So maybe let's say we're drafting 18 or somewhere like this. You could use that other pick and move, probably into the top, the top of the draft. You won't get number 1 overall, but 2 first round picks. That's a lot of. You know what I mean? So up high, man. So we'll see what they do. But good question indeed. Good question indeed. Thank you very much.
I said it wrong. I meant move back, not move up. My bad.
Appreciate that. Appreciate the question, JY. Good stuff, bro. Thank you.
But no, Joe, it's definitely a must win against these Giants already, dude. Did you call it the toilet bowl?
It will be, man. But there is a lot to like from what we saw. You know what I mean? You and I and a lot of people, have said this was not a moral victory, but there was positives from the game. You know what I mean? They did look different than the McCarthy team. The one thing that worries me for the season, not just against the Giants, but is that defense. You know what I mean? Like, we can't let the opposing team just run down the field and score. And then you're putting pressure on your offense to do the same thing back and forth. Well, eventually somebody's gonna not make the play. And that's what happened to us. You know what I mean? We couldn't keep up. We couldn't cash it in, bro. So we don't need to be in that position. We need to be able to be ahead of the game in points, so we can pin our ears back play a more aggressive defense, force some turnovers. We are not a team right now that can come from behind. 10 points is going to be almost an insurmountable lead for us. Like, you get 10 points or more, and man, it can be tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, like I said, yeah, I think I said that earlier this year was, this ain't the type of team, or maybe I said it on Freaky Friday or Talking Crazy. I can't remember, but I said this is the type of team that has to win, early and get a good lead, because that defense, if it's really bend don't break, it can hurt you. And next thing you know, you got teams coming back on you, then you got some miracle onside kick, and this, that, and the third. Like, we have to keep the pedal to the metal, and Schottenheimer has to do a better job calling the offense and not abandon the run because Miles Sanders fumbled. He has to keep the foot on the throat.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge game, man, because a lot's on the line, even for Dayball. He goes 0-2. The hot seat is back on for this dude. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's why he was in the office saying, please give me Jackson Dart.
And I have a feeling that we might see him. If they have a bad first half, I could see the change at the half. I could definitely see that. Maybe they even have a package play for him, to get his feet wet or something like this. So, but Russell Wilson has had success against the Cowboys. You know what I mean? So there is some history there with that. But I feel good about I do feel good about this game than I did in the offseason, as far as our predictions go. So, Mike, I do. Let's talk about that. What's your thought on the outcome of the game? I'm going to say that we are going to win this game. The score, I don't know what the score will be, but we will win this one here at home.
Joe, last week I wrote a check that obviously my mouth couldn't cash. So I'm going to say, let's just go play ball. That's what I'm going to say, Joe. Let's just go play some ball. Let's go be physical, and let's go 1-1. That's what I'm going to say. Let's just go play ball.
You go 1-1, and then the next opponent is who, Mike?
The Bears.
We saw the Bears choke it up. Caleb Williams and the fingernail polish, they choked it up. J.J. McCarthy had the comeback of comebacks, bro. What an amazing game that was. The Bears, they're not quite ready, you know what I mean? But they do play the Cowboys tough, though. They have historically played the Cowboys pretty tough, even beating us a couple of times. So, yeah, man, you got to win this game, bro. This really is a must win in the division, and you don't want to go 0-2. You don't want to play the Bears at 0 with an 0-2 record, bro.
Good Lord. Do you know how desperate you would be for a win? You might spit on a player just to hope they can spit on you back and get them ejected. But
Dan the man Cunningham in the house. Appreciate you, bro. Joe, does this game qualify as a trap game? I think it's I would say so, man, because the Giants they kept Dayball. I don't know why they kept him. He's not a good coach. They looked bad against the Washington. I'm surprised Washington didn't blow them out, honestly. So they do have some fight in them, but overall, I still think they're at the bottom of the division. So yeah, it would be a trap game. That would be a trap game, and Carolina, I think, is on the schedule too, right, Mike? That is definitely a trap game. So
yeah.
But here's what this is where I want to see a difference, Mike. Cowboys, they do this all the time. They've done this for many years now, where they come down to the level of this crappy team and play crappy. It's never, hey, we're gonna beat the crap out of you. We're a better team. It's all we play down to these teams, bro. Like, that's one thing that does drive me crazy, bro. We do play down to the team. If they're a crappy team, somehow they stay in it, man.
If you know what's so scary, Joe, we are a couple of games away from us being the trap team of going to upset an opponent.
Right. Yeah.
like, is it a trap game for the Giants or is it a trap game for the Cowboys? Because if we keep going the rate we're going with these inconsistencies, we could be the team that traps people.
Dude, man, how the mighty have fallen, bro. That would be just ridiculous, bro. But yeah, no, they would be true. There's no doubt about that, man.
But no, guys, I think that's it for today. Cowboys blog, let them know where they can find you.
Yes, sir. You can find me at Cowboys blog on YouTube. Hit subscribe, man. Hit that like button. Let's get those numbers on Mike's channel and my channel. And we do appreciate everybody that comes in here and watches the replay, comments, and live here in the chat box. We appreciate you very much. We can't without you. You're the reason why we do this. Thank you, guys.
Hey, you guys heard it here first. Until next week, we'll see you on the episode of the next Frisco Report. Did the Cowboys do it? Stay tuned. Hit this notification bell, guys. Peace.